Would you build a hotel? Or would you build an ice cream shop? Or would you build, it's such an important piece of land because of its proximity to Niagara Falls. I thought to myself, my brain and your brain is more valuable than that land. So what are you planting on your brain? What are you building? What type of real estate is in your brain? Right? That's what I mean by prime real estate. What are you building in your brain? Are you just, like Twitter messages that you follow every day? Are you just reading just newspapers and stuff like that? Or even reading junk? This is prime real estate. You've got to ingest into your brain the best of information. So things like phone numbers. Do you need to build phone numbers in your brain? No, you don't. Just write it down. Do you need to, appointments that you need to be? You don't have to put it in your brain. For your brain, your creativity should be there, your vision should be there, your focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making dua and doing dhikr, that's what should be planted on your brain, inshallah ta'ala. So that's number 2, getting things off of your mind immediately. Number 3, you want to write things down in places where you'll come across it once again. What that means is you want to write it down in a place where you'll come across it once again, without you having to manually remember it. So let me give you this example. If I have an idea, let's suppose there's a phone number that I need to recall at some point, somebody that I need to phone. Where should I put that phone number or that person that I need to phone? Should I put it in a vault in a bank that I only check once a year? Or should I put it, and a beautiful example of this is, let's suppose you're going to work in the morning or you're going to school in the morning and you have to take a certain book with you to school or a certain book with you to work. Where is the best place? Once you remember this and you want to take it off your mind, what should you do? This is my suggestion. Some of you might already be doing this. You just need to apply this to other aspects of your life. Take the book and put it by the crack opening of the door. In other words, you can't open the door in the morning unless you that you come across this book one more time. You open up the door and you're like, oh, this is the book that I need to take. So that being the case, you can let your mind forget about the book that it needs to take the next day and you can focus on important things. So number 3 is writing things down in places where you'll come across it once again. Number 4, to pray Fajr at the masjid. Pray Fajr in the masjid. The reason that I mention this is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in which he said, Allahumma barik li ummati fi bukuriha. Oh Allah, bless my ummah in their mornings. And so it's something, when you experience it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, that when a person wakes up for Fajr and starts their day from there, there's so much barakah, there's so much blessing, there's so many things that you can do, inshallah ta'ala. And actually, when it comes to the hours, I'm going to talk about it later, but you'll get probably half of your life back just by staying awake after Fajr, inshallah ta'ala. But we'll come to it, inshallah ta'ala, later. Number 5, you want to oxygenate your blood. You need to get oxygen into your blood. In other words, you need to start going for a walk, breathing. And that happens, by the way, if you just go for Fajr, this will take place. But that might be a little exercise in the morning, get your body and legs moving. Once you start getting oxygen into your body, you start becoming more alert. As opposed to the people that kind of think that energy comes from coffee, which it doesn't. That's just kind of like shocking your body with sugars and poisons. But if you did take this oxygen break, where you just said, you know what, I'm just going to go out and breathe. Inshallah ta'ala, you'll find more barakah in your time and your focus. Number 6, pre-choose your next break and when it will be, and write it down. What I mean by that is, let's suppose you've started working at work or you're studying something and so on. Let's suppose you're reading a book or studying for exam. Take an hour to, and then write down. So let's suppose the time is, 4:21. Suppose the time is 4:21, and then you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to study for an hour. Then in your little journal right beside you, you write down 5:21 is when my break is. So you let your mind forget. You get absorbed. Every time you want to become distracted by something else, you just say, you know what, I'm not allowed to be distracted until 5:21. That's my distraction time. And so because you have it written down, you look at the clock and you religiously you just follow that. I'm not going to get distracted until this time comes. And then when 5:21 comes along, then you give yourself, a 10, 15-minute break where you just totally, have fun, take your 10-minute break, enjoy yourself, and then come back and then do the same thing again, another hour where you're working on something. So pre-choose when your next break will be and write it down. Number 7, you need to delete distractions in your life. I'm saying delete it. I'm not saying stay away from it. I'm saying delete it. Don't even come near it. In other words, if you have a TV, I know this is kind of intense, but I would actually recommend that you don't have a TV in your house. If you have internet access in your home, and I know this is even pushing it too, maybe even, keep your internet access for at work, or find places where there is no access to the internet. Sometimes you might have a game on your phone that's taking up a lot of time. In a moment of, seriousness, just take that game and delete it. It's not even on your phone anymore. Or whatever it is that's distracting you. It could be a person as well. Maybe you need to take them off of your messenger or whatever it is. And by the way, but all those chat programs, I don't even come near it. If it's important enough to talk about it, then just pick up the phone and speak what you need to speak to the person. Okay, so delete the distractions. With everything that I just mentioned, I know TV has benefits, I know internet has benefits, I know all this stuff, and so on and so forth. But if you use it in specific places and don't have access to it outside of those places, inshallah ta'ala, it will become your slave rather than it becoming your master. Bismillah. All right, so deleting distractions. Number 8, never multitask. Never multitask. Instead, you want to focus on what's at hand. So instead of multitasking where a chat program is open and you're doing some work and you're listening to something and you're trying to do 3 or 4 things at the exact same time, it doesn't work like that. What you need to do, like I said, if you have an hour where you're focused on your work, and then if you want to chat with someone, then do that in your 10-minute break after your 1-hour chat. Everything focused so that there's no multitasking. Sometimes if someone comes to me and says, Muhammad, can I speak to you? And there's something that I'm currently busy with, I'll tell them I need you to just hold on for a second. Just give me, 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Let me just finish this so I can give you my full attention. All right? And they understand. You just be truthful, finish what you need to do, turn away from the computer or turn away from the distraction and just look them in the eye and say, yes, what would you like? And sometimes even maybe the person you're speaking with might be, they're wasting time or they're just chit-chatting. I might even start off and say, you know what the time is? 4:24 right now. I can give you 10 minutes. This conversation is going to end at 4:34. So they know exactly they have to make their point right from, within that time limit, inshallah ta'ala. Getting very clear and very specific and very focused, you'll be able to get a lot done. So number 8, never multitask. Number 9, you want to start on the right foot, okay? So when you enter the masjid, for example, start with the right foot, or you enter your house, or, the Prophet ﷺ used to go to the masjid when he'd first arrive back from a journey, things like that. You see in Islam that we're taught to start with in the name of Allah, Bismillah, and so on. I'm telling you, when you start your day, start with the important things so that your day can go right. So in other words, if you go to work in the morning or you go to school in the morning and you start off by checking your email and checking, the messages, the social messages from your friends and so on, then chances are that foot that you've started your day with will continue throughout your entire day. You'll just be chatting with people and so on. But what if, before you contacted anybody, before you checked any emails or anything like that, you started off with the most important task that you need to get done for the day? So maybe, there's an application you need to fill out and send out. Maybe there's something important, right? Something that needs to get done. Start your day with those things. And what you'll find is if you start with that, you'll get fulfillment. And then then you'll go, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours later to chat with your friends, and you realize that your friends are so boring. And then you'll want to go and achieve some more things. Because you've started on the right foot, you're going to keep creating that momentum. That's something that I do when I'm in the zone day after day. I'll start the day off with, what do I want to achieve, and start the day